So yesterday we started Fieri application overview. So the main purpose of Fieri is to improve the user experience regarding posting of transactions, generating the reports. Means the main concentration is on the end user activities, right? So there are three types of apps I told you: transactional apps, analytical apps, and fact sheet apps. So the transactional apps are always related to posting of transactions. Suppose, for example, in SAP GUI, you have F-0 to FB50, right? F-43, F-53. Like that, you have many end user transactions. So for most of the end user transactions, Fieri apps are available, right? And one more thing is, uh, the transactional apps are always used to enter the business transactions. Then we have the analytical apps. So these analytical apps are nothing but your reports. So in SAP GUI, you have many reports, right? So using the analytical apps, you can generate your reports in the Fieri application. Then fact sheet apps. So they are also called 360 degrees apps. That fact sheet apps, how they look like. I will show you once we start the configuration, and after that, once we start posting the transactions. So these are the three types of apps, right? Then, so while developing, most of the apps are, and one more thing, there are nearly 15,000 plus apps are there. Out of these 15,000 apps, I'm talking about all the modules, all the applications. So out of these 15,000 apps, right, some apps are transactional apps and some apps are analytical apps and some apps are fact sheet apps. So in that case, how do we know which app is transactional app and which app is analytical app or fact sheet app, right? So all the information you can see here. One second, let me. One second. Okay. See, we have one site, Fieri apps library, right? So you can just write down this URL name, right? Because the strip is not going back, right? I don't know what happened here. Okay, so this is the Fieri apps library, right? So you can write down this app, right? I mean, sorry, you can write down this URL. Anyhow, I'm going to send you the recording, no? So the categories, all the apps are divided into different categories. All apps and all apps for SAP S/4HANA and SAP Fieri apps for SAP S/4HANA, SAP Fieri apps for SAP Business Suite. Like that, there are many more apps. Suppose if you click on this all apps for SAP S/4HANA, then you want to see all the apps, or you want to see the apps according to lines of business, or you want to see the apps by industry type. Like that, again, they are subdivided. Let us say, for example, I want to display all the apps. See, here you can see that 11,585 there. So in addition to this, right, previously you have seen the lines of business, X industry, and also SAP apps for SAP S/4HANA. Combining all the products, right, there are nearly 15,000 plus apps are there. So I'm clicking on all apps for SAP S/4HANA. Then I'm clicking on all apps. Now, here I want to search the apps. Suppose, for example, there is one app, manage bank accounts. So in the manage bank accounts, you can create account IDs. See, in normal ECC, right, house banks and the account IDs are created in FI12 transaction code itself, right? But in SAP S/4HANA, FI12 transaction code is totally obsolete. So house banks master records are created through SAP GUI and account IDs are created through apps only. You cannot create account ID in the normal SAP GUI in SAP S/4HANA. For that, we use this manage bank accounts. Now I want to see what exactly is the function that are available in this app manage bank accounts. See, these are the apps, right? Manage bank accounts. So you just select this checkbox. See, here required back-end product SAP HANA, lines of business finance, application type transactional app. Application type transactional app. Okay, so like that, with the help of this, right, this is the database of all the apps. This is maintained by SAP company itself. It is the own company, own site of SAP. This is Fiori apps library.hana.ondemand.com. Right? So database, HANA database exclusive. Device types means on which devices this app can work. It can work on desktop, phone, tablet. And this is the app ID. The purpose of this app ID is to identify the apps, right? Then here, these are the product features. So what are the features of this app? Search for bank account using keywords and filters. Create new bank accounts, open a bank account master where you can check bank account details, make changes, copy the bank account to create a new bank account, close the bank account, delete the bank account if it is inactive. Like that, see, bank account is nothing but an account ID. So you can make the changes to account ID, you can delete the account IDs, right? You can close the account IDs. Like that, all the functions are performed through this application, through this app. So delete inactive bank accounts, and in bank accounts drafts en masse. Then create a document or URL attachment for bank accounts. Like that, we can see all the functions available. One second. Huh? So you can see all the functions available in this product, right? Here, this is the look and feel of the app, right? I will show you now. So like that, you can see all the apps relating to this. Then, if you want to see what is the implementation information, just click on this implementation information, right? Important SAP notes are there. Then, what is the notes relating to this app? Then installation process, then configuration, then technical information. Like that, extensibility, support related information, then related apps, the apps which are related to manage these bank accounts, right? Like that, all the information is available there. So manage bank account is nothing but your transactional app. Now, say for example, if you select a cash flow analyzer, right? This is the analytical app. And it's not necessary to remember which apps are analytical and which apps are transactional. It's not necessary to remember, right? Just for your understanding purpose, I'm showing you all these apps, right? So you can write down this, right? You can take the screenshot of this. Otherwise, I will send the link in your recording. Okay. So that's how we can see, right, the apps. The app information is available in the Fiori apps library. This is called Fiori apps library. Then, so the main features of all these Fiori apps is all are role based. On the basis of the roles assigned to the users only, right, the apps have been developed. For different roles, right, the apps are available. Then responsive. Responsive means the apps will fit to any size of the screens on different mobiles. I mean different mobiles, iPads, right, tabs, desktops, So each app will fit to automatically to the size of any computer or any mobile devices, tabs, pads, etc. Simple, simple application scope, one user, one use case, and up to 3 screens for each application. That means in every application or in every app, maximum the user needs to use only 3 screens. And they're also very simple to use. Then coherent, consistency. Coherence means consistency. The applications are developed with the coherent structure. All apps speak the same language and can be implemented in multiple landscapes and environments. Then instant value, instant value. Instant value throughout a low adoption barrier, both in the IT system side and on the end user adoption side. See, if you want to use these apps, right, you need not be having any IT knowledge, right? Say for example, in your mobiles, right, you are using your respective bank apps. So for that purpose, do you need any IT knowledge? Suppose you have ICICI Bank, right? We have an app iMobile. So if you install that iMobile, right, you can transact all your bank transactions to the ICICI Bank. So even the illiterate person also, right, they can install the app and they can do the transactions through the app once they are given the training once, only one time. So that person need not have any IT background to use the apps. Similarly, in case of SAP Fiori apps also, the user need not be having any IT knowledge also. Even the layman or common man can use these apps. So transactional apps, these are also called task-based access. That means access to the tasks like change, create, approve processes with guided navigation. That means, see, these transactional apps are used to create the master records also. Means here you can create vendor master records. Of course, the vendor master records are called BP master records in S/4HANA. BP means business partner, right? That we'll discuss later on. So from the ERP language, right, normal SAP ERP language, see, we can create GL master records, we can change, we can display GL master records. These are called task-based access. We can create BP master records or vendor master records for the time being. See, in S/4HANA, XK01 is not available now. In accounts payable, we create vendor master records in XK01 in normal ECC. Now XK01 is totally obsolete. Even if you execute the transaction code XK01, the system automatically diverts you to BP01. Sorry, BP. BP means business partner. So in SAP S/4HANA, business partner is compulsory integrated with the vendor master records and customer master records. So why this vendor master records and customer master records are integrated with the business partner concept, we will discuss at the respective times. What I mean to say here is, if you want to create vendor master records, change vendor master records, and display vendor master records, and if you want to create customer master records, right, then bank master records, then change customer master records, display customer master records, all these tasks are available in the transactional apps. Posting of invoices, right, and posting of GL transactions, all these apps are also available under the transactional apps. So these are also called task-based apps. Then analytical apps. Visual overview over a complex topic for monitoring and tracking purposes. Say for example, display GL account balance. So from the GL account balance display, right, you can dig down up to 24 levels, right? If the total configuration is done, you can dig down up to 24 levels. 24 levels down. Technically that is possible, but we never use that many number of levels in the reporting, right? So the analytical apps are mainly for reporting purposes. So data mining and free analysis through analytical tools like analysis path framework. This is totally technical. See, using the analytical apps, right, you can generate the reports. Then fact sheet. View essential information about objects and contextual navigation between related objects. This I will show you once we start the Fiori apps training, right? Then SAP Fiori applications can be classified into three different types. Examples include transactional. These follow an optimal design for fast transaction processing, such as purchase receipt entry. Transactional apps offer task-based access to tasks like change, create, display, documents, and master records, or entire process with the guided navigation. Analytical apps already explained you. Fact sheet apps I will show you once we log on into Fiori apps, right? Then this is called Fiori Launchpad. So in order to access the Fiori apps, right, the Fiori Launchpad is compulsory. So you can design your own Fiori Launchpad. See, in the implementation, right, the Fiori Launchpads are designed by basis consultants. So otherwise, separate Fiori consultants. As a functional consultant, we don't require to design the SAP Fiori Launchpad. So you can also customize. You means as a user, once you are given access to the Fiori Launchpad, you can log on into Fiori Launchpad. I mean Fiori App Server. And again, in order to log on to Fiori App Server, you require user ID and password. Generally, whatever the user and password are given to you to log on to SAP GUI are also will be used for this Fiori App Launchpad also. Okay. Now, so let us log on into this Fiori. Let us see how it look like. Remote desktop connection. See, once I give the access to the server, right, you also have to log on to the servers like this, right? So if you are using Windows, right, it's very easy to log on, right? But if you are using iPad, I mean Apple laptop, then we have to download one app from your app store, that is Microsoft Remote Desktop. Using that remote desktop from Microsoft, you can log into the server. So that Microsoft Desktop login app is free, right? So you need not pay anything. But at the time of law giving access to you, if you are using this, I mean, Apple laptops, right? Just WhatsApp me. I will log on to your this thing and I will show you how to install this remote desktop connection. Don't worry about it. So you have to click on this remote desktop connection, right? And I will provide you the IP address of the remote computer. You just have to enter your remote name and also password. One second, let me check. Today only I have taken this. One zero three double four dot one dot 202.5533. Okay, let me just give me 1 second. Let me call the service provider. Yeah, he changed my password. So you will be given the credentials to log on into this remote desktop server. Just 1 second. Sorry, sorry, I was muted. See, again, I will show you. 1 second. Now you are logged into remote desktop, right? So there will be SAP logon icon. This is as usual. This is your server, Simple Finance 1901. For your comparison purpose, ECC old server is also included in the logon pad, right? Whenever you want, you can compare old server and the function, the fields in the Simple Finance server also. So whatever the credentials given to you to log on to remote desktop also will work for logging into SAP server. So in this SAP Easy Access, Fiori Launchpad is also configured. So just to double click on this Fiori Launchpad. So it will be giving different messages regarding the security certificates. Continue to this website. It shows that not recommended. Don't worry, just click on this continue to this website. See, normally in your practice, right, the Fiori access is very low, very slow. See, this is called home page, right? So the user can configure their home page. That means they can customize their home page. This is called me area, right? This is called me area. So in the me area, you have the different options. Wait for a second. See, here you can see your recent activities, frequently used apps, app finder, then settings, edit home page. So here, when you log in, this is the default home page, right? But you can remove all the apps, you can add the apps, you can create the app groups according to your requirement. So for that, you just have to click on this me area, then click on edit home page. Of course, see, it is just similar to browsing your internet sites. So edit home page. Actually, it will not be this much slow, right? Today it is a little bit slow due to heavy rains in Hyderabad since 3 days, right? At many places there was internet problem, power problem. It's not highlighting here. Yeah. Okay, see, these are the different group of apps, right? So these are the default apps, and you can remove these apps also. And also, you can add the apps in your home page. It's not working. It's a hang. See, okay, I will do one thing. This I will show you clearly, right, at the time of starting of our free apps training, okay? Because it's taking a lot of time. Let me try one more time. You can remove the apps from the tiles. Here, these are called tiles. These are called tiles. Okay, this we will see later on, right? Because it is taking a lot of time. Now, SAP Fiori Launchpad is a shell that hosts SAP Fiori apps and provides services such as navigation, personalization. That means you can customize your home page also. So in the customization of the home page, right, you can add all the apps which you use very frequently. And also based on upon your roles, suppose you are using 10 to 15 apps. In that case, based on the function and the role, right, you can group the apps, right? You can create one group and you can add whatever the related apps in that particular group. Say for example, you are having the sorry, we are using three apps: posting into general ledger, then posting of vendor invoice, and posting of customer invoice. So these three apps are related to your postings. Then you create one group, posting related apps. Then you can insert all these three apps in that folder. So you can add the groups, you can remove the groups. Then in every group, you can add the individual apps and you can also remove the individual apps, right? And also you can customize the appearance of this color also, right? You can customize the appearance of these colors and you can customize your languages also. And you can also make some apps as default from different applications. So all these activities are available in the apps catalog. Here, there is one concept which is called apps catalog. So the apps catalog will show you all the apps which are available in this Fairy server. Suppose if you want to search any apps, right, you can click on this search button. See, this is search button. Say for example, manage bank accounts. Okay, that also we'll see later on. Anyhow, so embedded support and application configuration. It is the entry point to SAP Fiori apps. It is the entry point means SAP Fiori Launchpad is used, or it is the entry point to SAP Fiori apps on mobile and desktop devices. The Launchpad displays a home page with tiles. I told you, no, these are called tiles, right? These are called tiles. So the Launchpad displays a home page with the tiles, which can display live status indicators such as number of open tasks. Each tile represents a business application that the user can launch. So there are some real-time apps. Real-time apps means, right? Suppose display cash balance app is there, right? So every 5 minutes we can refresh it. If you refresh that app, right, the system, the app will show you automatically what is the current cash balance here itself. In the app tile itself, right, you can see the current cash balance. Suppose you have the sales app. In that case, if you refresh that app every 5 minutes, right, you can see the updated total sales. Like that, there are real-time apps are also there. Those also I will show you once we start the configuration, the SAP apps. Each tile represents a business application that the user can launch. The SAP Fiori apps on the home page are arranged in the tile groups. The user can personalize the layout of the home page by grouping, moving, and removing tiles. The user also can add, delete, rename, and reorder the groups. The ability to personalize the home page must be enabled in the Launchpad configuration. So defaultly, these activities are not available for the user. They are to be configured in the Launchpad. To add the titles to groups, the Launchpad provides a tile catalog, which displays all the tiles that are available to the user. Unfortunately, it's not, it is very slow today. Let me try one more time. mydomain.com is not responding. Okay. Then, Fiori Launchpad user personalization. End users can personalize the tiles in their Fiori Launchpad environment. So suppose if you want to add a new tile catalog, you just have add button here. Enter the tile of the new tile and threshold. Set the new tile in the catalog. This is called App Finder. So in this me area, right, you can see the App Finder also. This is called App Finder. Right? So all the functions relating to customization of your home page are available in the me area. This is called me area. Then select the add tile from the assigned catalog to the group. So how to create the groups, all these things I will show you at the time of posting from Fiori apps. Then the following personalization options are available in SAP Fiori Launchpad. Adding the apps from the catalog, removing apps that should no longer be used, modifying and adding the applications for filtered report results. For example, if the user is a group cache manager who is interested in the German market, the user can create an application to take them directly to the cache position of the German market. That means whenever he opens the app, it will directly take him to the cache position of the German country. That way that it can be configured. They can arrive at the cache position directly with one click from SAP Fiori Launchpad homepage. And here in SAP Fiori Theme Designer, you can design the custom themes for the Launchpad. For example, you can do the following: change the font color, change the background color, add images, right? Assign a new theme to the users. That means here you have one settings option is there. If you go to settings, right, you can change the background color of the screen, right? You can see the font size, font formats, I mean font shapes also you can change. All these things I will show you at the time of doing the transactions from the Fiori. For the time being, it's taking very long time. That's why I'm not doing that. Then this we will discuss later on. These are the change in the period logs, right? See, in SAP FI, I mean SAP ECC, in the controlling, right, there is one concept, period logs. Here in SAP ECC, if you want to post any transactions in FI, the periods are to be opened compulsorily. Means in FI, the periods are to be separately opened. But in controlling, right, periods are defaultly opened. In FI, the periods are defaultly closed. So if you want to post a transactions in FI, we have to open the periods in FI. But in controlling, right, the periods are defaultly opened. That's why generally we don't open the periods while posting in controlling. But if you want to close the periods, you can close the periods, right? So here, let us log on into this SAP ECC. So if you want to post the transactions in FI, in OB57, in OB52, You have to open the periods here, right? But in controlling, the periods are defaultly open. OKP2. See? So controlling area, for example, 1067, fiscal year 2020, version 0. Now, click on actual. See, for all the actual periods, for all the actual postings, right, the periods are opened. The periods are opened, right? Suppose, go to change. See, all the periods are opened defaultly. Suppose I want to close the period for controlling October 2020. October 2020 means it depends upon your fiscal year variant. So let us say you are using fiscal year variant V3. So according to fiscal year variant V3, October 2020 is 7th period, right? In that case, you just select this 7th period. So in that case, right, the 7th period of fiscal year 2020 is locked for actual process assessment. Actual word assessment also, I want to lock, select this. So actual activities, you can lock the periods. Similarly, for the planned activities also, you can lock the periods. So what I mean to say here is, right? So you have to lock the periods if you want. You can lock the periods for actual postings, or you can lock the periods for planned postings. So there are separate period locks for controlling in ECC, but in S4HANA, right, the period lock concept is not there separately in controlling. Instead of period locks in controlling, right, SAP has introduced the third period interval in the OB52 transaction code itself. See, 1 second. See, in OB52, you have period 1 interval, period 2 interval. Okay, but this is S4HANA server. See, there is period 3 interval. So the period lock concept is not available in S4HANA. Now it was moved to FI itself. So the periods for controlling can be controlled from OB52 itself now. That is what I have defined, what I have shown you in your slides, right? So there is no period lock. See, in SAP menu, right? This is the SAP Easy Access. Now the period locks are not available in SAP HANA in controlling. In SAP S4HANA, CO relevant postings do not check the CO period lock in OKP1 as previously. Instead of that, you must also check the GL period opening and closing in OB52. Therefore, you have to allow postings to accounts from the secondary cost account type in the GL period opening and closing. Why this third period is introduced in FI? Because see, previously when you post the transactions, suppose you have performed assessment of overheads. In that case, only CO document was posted. But now in S4HANA, when you perform assessment of overheads, right, the system also will post FI documents, because the secondary cost elements are also created as GL accounts in FI. That is the reason why, right, the periods are introduced in FI to allow the CO postings, to allow the postings from CO. For that purpose, we use the third period interval in OB52. So I will take one example. I will show you practically how this period interval 3 works. In the CO period log, you need to specify the transactions that you want to log and the periods that you want to log for them. In SAP S/4HANA, you must also open the accounts from the secondary cost account type in FI postings. So I told you know in SAP FI, sorry, in S/4HANA, in the GL master records, the new field was introduced, GL account type. So if you select a GL account, if you select for a GL account, the GL account type secondary costs, see, GL account type is there, no? So in that case, you are creating a secondary cost element as a GL account. Then you have to select the secondary costs. So when you select the secondary costs, the period 3 will come into picture. So for all the GL accounts which are created as secondary cost elements, if you want to allow the postings to those GL accounts, the period 3 interval is used. But there are different scenarios in using the period 3 interval. So what is those scenarios we will discuss. So in the transaction code OB52, you can specify which posting periods are open for postings for each variant. You can choose the period intervals between 1 and 3. See, period interval 1 is used for what? Normal postings, right? Day-to-day postings. Period interval 2 is used for posting year-end adjustments, right? Now period interval 3 is used to allow the postings or to control the postings from controlling. So you can use the period intervals 1 and 2 for all normal posting processes in regular and special periods. For period interval 1, you can enter a group of authorized users. This means that for the month end or year end closing, for example, you can open posting periods for specific users only. You know the function of the groups, right? Authorization groups. So the periods opened in the period interval 1 is used for authorization groups. So whatever the periods you open in the period interval 1 are applicable to the users who are assigned in the authorization groups. Period interval 3 is used for postings from controlling to financial accounting in FI. So in SAP ECC, right, there was no scenario wherein the documents are posted from controlling to FI, except in one scenario, intercompany postings, right? You know, FICO reconciliation ledger. So in the case of FICO reconciliation ledger only, right, when you're using that functionality. So when do you use that functionality? When you're using cross-company code cost accounting. That means when you assign multiple company codes to the single controlling area, there may be intercompany transfers. In that case only, when you do cost transfer, one cost center to another cost center belonging to different company codes, FI documents are also posted in company codes. That is the scenario wherein the transaction will be posted from controlling to FI. But in S/4HANA, right, for every controlling activity you do in controlling, FI document is also posted. Because all the primary cost elements and secondary cost elements are also created as GL accounts in the S/4HANA. That is the reason why. In order to allow the system to do the postings from controlling into FI, we use this period interval 3. So period interval 3 is used for posting from controlling to financial accounting. If you do not make an entry in the period interval 3, the check on this period on these postings is made against the periods 1 and 2. That means if you don't make any entry in the period interval 3, the system will check for the opening of the periods in period interval 1. But if you enter the values in the period interval 3, the system will do the check on period interval 3 only. Don't get confused, don't worry. I will take one example and I will show you clearly how this period interval 3 works. For each interval, specify the lower and upper limits of the posting periods as well as the fiscal year. You can also use the report RFB 05200 transaction 052B. This is in the S/4HANA transaction code. Then ledger concepts in S/4HANA Simple Finance, right? This we will see later, right? Because only 2 slides are there, right? Here only 4 slides are there, 4 or 5 slides, but it is not enough, right? I have prepared some other material. This is 1909 version, no? Right? We are going on 1909 version, but this is in 1809 version. This presentation of ledger concepts in S/4HANA, right? This is not sufficient, right? I have to prepare some more material, right? So from next week onwards, I will explain you the ledger concept. Then we will see the configuration of the system. For today, I'm closing the session. I did not notice this, right? Otherwise, I would have prepared this. I have prepared already little bit material for this ledger concept, right? Accounting principles. 16 slides I have already prepared, right? But there are some other slides to be prepared. First, I explain the concept of ledgers in ECC, right? Then these are the ledgers in S/4HANA, right? Leading ledger, standard ledgers, extension ledgers, leading ledger, non-leading ledger. Again, extension ledger will have extension ledger, simulation ledger, and predictive ledger. So this has to be continued, right? I have to prepare nearly 10 to 15 slides. Right? This we will see next week. So after explaining the ledger concept, we will jump into the system, then we start configuration, right? So even the basic settings also, there are changes. Even in the basic settings also, there are changes. We will also create company code, business areas, then posting period variant, fiscal year variant, chart of accounts, all these things also we have to do in S/4HANA also. But in some of the settings, there are some changes. These changes also I will explain. Then we will see how to create GL master records. All the things we will see, right? Wherever changes are there, we will touch those areas. And all the configuration again we have to develop, right? We have created a company code, business area, chart of accounts, fiscal year variant, field status variant, tolerance goods for GL accounts, tolerance goods for employees, global parameters, all these things we have done to post the transactions. And also we have to create GL masters. So all these things also we will do in SAP S/4HANA, and also we create GL masters. But while creating the GL masters, there are some new fields added, new functionalities added that we will see at that time. Like that we will go. Any questions from anybody?
Yes. Are you sending the notes for the configuration?
Yeah, I will send you. Charles.
Yeah. Because we'll need the notes before the configuration, otherwise you'll be lost.
Yeah. Configuration notes I did not send to anybody.
Okay.
I will send it. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe Soumya.
Sir, you said there are around 15,000 plus apps in theory.
Yeah.
In real time, do we really need so many apps, sir?
No. And these 15,000 plus apps are available for all the modules, not only for FICO.
Okay.
Right? So we don't use all the 15,000. It's very, very difficult. Because
are there any duplications?
Each app will support a different type of business transaction.
So there is no duplication anywhere?
No.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Any questions from anybody else? Okay then, see you next week.